My name is Owen. I'm a senior engineer here at Headrush Technologies. In this video, I'll be walking you through the installation process for a TRUBLUE iQ Plus Auto Belay. Because of the iQ Plus's catch and hold capability, there are a few more steps involved for installation than for a regular TRUBLUE. But we've done our best to simplify things and make it so that anyone can install an iQ Plus with no technical expertise required. The first thing you want to do is charge your battery pack. The TRUBLUE iQ Plus's lithium-ion battery takes about 5 hours for a 95% charge and 8 hours for a full charge. While you're welcome to start using your iQ Plus like a normal Auto Belay during that time, catch and hold mode won't work without a charged battery pack. With that in mind, let's move on to the mounting phase, and then we'll circle back around. Like all TRUBLUEs, the iQ Plus has a 2-point mounting system for safety and redundancy. You have your primary mounting point in the middle and your secondary mounting point on the side. One of the new features on the iQ series is this plastic mounting insert, which protects the aluminum housing from long-term deformations to the mounting hole. You can order these inserts on the Headrush website. It's a lot cheaper to replace than an entire Auto Belay. Start by positioning the device with the logo facing outward. That way, the back guard is taking the brunt of any contact with the wall. You're going to want to hang the device so that the primary mounting point is weighted, while the secondary mounting point has a little bit of slack in the line. This allows the Auto Belay to swing. As the climber moves from side to side, that swinging motion reduces wear on the webbing and on the nozzle. It will also help your iQ Plus last longer while giving a smoother belay. Once your iQ Plus is mounted, it's time to start attaching the cables. To run the cable between the top of the wall and the base, you have a couple of options depending on your wall. The simplest method is to free up one of the 7/16" holes by removing a T-nut and then using that hole to feed the cable through from the base of the wall. If this isn't an option, you can either loop the cable over the top of the wall or drill a new 7/16" hole through it. Once you've figured out how you're going to run the cables, the next step is to take this releasable cable tie and insert it through the tie holder on the side of the device. Then you can go ahead and route the cable through the primary mounting point so that it won't get damaged when the device starts to swing. You'll want a small amount of slack in the cable just to make sure it's not pulling on anything. Line up the pins with the connector socket, then screw the silver end until it's finger tight and fasten down the cable tie. Once again, leaving some slack to keep the cable from tugging against the connector. Okay, you've mounted the device and hooked it up to the cable. Now you're going to install the summit and base buttons. To make things easier, we'll start at the top and work our way down. This is the summit button. After a climber tops out, they can press the button to release catch and hold mode and start lowering without delay. When you're deciding where on the wall to mount your summit button, try to find a flat section near the top of the route and within easy reach of the finish. Unlike the Auto Belay connector cable, the summit button sits directly over its hole, so choose your location carefully before feeding the cable through from the back side of the wall. Once you've chosen your location, slide the backer onto the cable and then connect the end of the cable to the socket on the back of the summit button and turn until finger tight. Press the button and the backer flush against the wall, then drill in your wood screws. For firmer walls, it may be helpful to pre-drill the holes. If wood screws won't work with the material over wall, you can use number 10 flathead screws instead. That's it for the upper section. Now we're going to head down to the base of the wall to finish the installation. When mounting the base button, you want to find a flat section of wall that's within easy reach of the ground. For the base button, you will also need convenient access to the battery pack, which slides out underneath the main assembly. When you're installing the base button, make sure that the battery pack is not connected. All of the cables should be installed and connected before you plug into the battery. Okay, you've found a good spot on the wall for your base button. Now you want to connect it all together. If you have access to the back of your wall, you can go ahead and remove another T-nut or drill a new 7/16" hole, then pass the base cable through to the back. If you don't have access to the back of your wall, you'll have to cut a hole in the wall that the base button will then cover up. The maximum hole size is 90 millimeters wide by 150 millimeters high. Before making any cuts, use the base button backer pad to ensure the base button will fully cover the access hole. Once you've cut the access hole, fish the 20-meter COM cables out from behind the wall. Make the connections on the front side of the wall, then put back into the access hole and cover it up with the base button. To mount the base button, you'll once again use the holes in the button backer to help position the screws. Before you start drilling, double check that the TRUBLUE label is facing outward and that the hole is centered. Place the backer flush against the button and run the cable through the hole, then screw the base button into place. We're almost there. Just to reiterate, you still should not have the battery hooked up to the connection cables at this point. All that's left to do is attach the single end of this Y cable splitter to the base button cable and the two cables from the top to the split ends. Normally, I would be doing this behind the wall, but for the purposes of this video, I'll show you right here. Again, there's no need to crank these down. All you need is finger tight. Once you've got the hardware set up, let's hook up the battery pack and we'll take this iQ Plus for a quick test drive. To access the battery tray, you'll need the battery removal tool, which slots into the base button, like so. Keep this tool somewhere safe because you're going to need it each time you recharge the battery. Insert the battery pack into the tray, connect the wires, and then press the tray up until you hear a click. Once the battery is plugged in, the system will run an automatic electronics check. If the base and summit lights turn green, as it did here, that means we're good to go. Yellow indicates a low battery, and red is so low that catch and hold won't activate. If there's no flash at all, that indicates an electronics error, and you should consult the troubleshooting section of your iQ Plus operator's guide. Now that our iQ Plus is turned on, we're going to set the hold time. When a climber falls, this is the amount of time that they will stay in the air before lowering. To set the hold time, hold down the base button. After 5 seconds, it will begin to flash white. 2 flashes indicates a hold time of 20 seconds, 3 flashes for 30, and 1 flash means the device has a 15-second hold time. Keep holding the button until you see your desired number of flashes. Okay, we've installed our iQ Plus and set the hold time. Now we're going to run a quick safety check. This is a great routine to follow each time you recharge the battery. Activate catch and hold mode by pressing the base button so the light is pulsing blue. Gently pull out a few feet of webbing, then pull down hard to simulate a fall. The iQ Plus should immediately enter hold mode. You can tell it's working when the webbing locks into place and the button switches to solid blue. When you let go of the webbing, the iQ Plus should sense the upward movement and release. You can tell it's working when the blue light begins pulsing again. There's one final test we recommend running. Start the same before by gathering a little slack and then pulling down to engage hold mode. Only this time, instead of letting go, keep pulling to simulate a climber hanging on the rope. Then just hold it there. When the preset time is nearly up, the iQ Plus will start to flash. This is known as countdown mode. A few seconds later, hold mode will release and catch and hold mode will switch off. That's all there is to it. The installation is complete and the iQ Plus is ready for climbers.